What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to take a look at a 2024 release for the Halloween movies you should or should not watch during this fall season. Now, before we get into the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to follow me on all the social media pages. And without further ado, let's get into it. Today we are going to discuss Cinderella's Revenge. This was an independent release, very little show times in theaters, but I managed to see it 2 times. Now, the first time I saw it as a filler, and the second time I saw it and tried to see how I actually felt about the film. Now, as we look at this film, everybody knows the story of Cinderella. She has an evil stepmother and stepsisters. You have her basically being abandoned, treated terribly. And then she goes to the ball, tries to fit in the glass slipper, so on and so forth. The difference with this film is at the very beginning, you see Cinderella's stepmother have her father killed. And that really sets the tone because the people that did the killing were wearing masks. Now, the one issue that really stands out right away is this movie is more comedic than it is scary. Cinderella is very uneducated, it seems, because the way she is being treated is more of being made fun of, and she doesn't really even say anything. So you're just sitting there going, what is going on in this film? Now, with it being Cinderella's Revenge, you would think there would be a lot of blood and gore, and it was going to be scary, and you were going to jump. That is not the case. Also in this movie, instead of being picked up to go to the ball when Cinderella decides to go from her fairy godmother, she goes in a Tesla. I believe it was orange. And I'm like, you're integrating a Tesla into this story for what? Now, ultimately, Cinderella does seek her revenge. A mask is presented to her, which turns her into this quote-unquote evil person. And then that's when she starts completing the murders of her stepsisters and her stepmother. Now let's talk about where this movie should fall. I do not at all recommend you watch this movie during Halloween. I honestly don't recommend you watch it at all. So just for example, this movie is now on Tubi. So that's right where this movie should be. It is there. The sounds in it, there's music playing almost the whole movie. So in many ways, you feel like that's all you're listening to is the music. And ultimately, it puts you in a position where you're looking at, is it enjoyable or is it not? And ultimately, it's not. So the first time watching it, it was all right. It wasn't something that I felt like was terrible right away. But then I saw it a second time. And during the second time, I realized that it was that bad. I have never fallen asleep in a movie, and this was the first movie that I did. Ultimately, Cinderella, like in the movie, gets her prince. She enjoys everything that goes on in her life from that time on and lives happily ever after. But the Cinderella's Revenge was not very revengeful. It was a couple incidents, nothing to keep you on edge, and nothing that would keep a scary movie fan interested. So, Cinderella's Revenge, do not recommend it. Do not see this movie if you don't. I mean, if you want to, go ahead. But it is not a movie that's going to be that enjoyable. So stay tuned for more Halloween content as we approach the Halloween season. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to follow me on all the social medias. And I will talk to you later.